Hello, friends. Throughout history and across the world, some great flags have represented people, and we recognize there is something of lasting importance about a flag's symbolism. These flags were likely designed without focus groups, planning committees, or design consultants, certainly without YouTube videos. Today, the advanced people of the Pacific Northwest in the 21st century have improved on the past with the skill and expertise of today's communicators and artists, so flags have gotten even better. Or have they? If you live in Yakima, this video is for you, and this is why it matters to you. There aren't many ways for us to show we're proud of where we live. It's not just a matter of liking it here. We depend on Yakima being prosperous, your friends, your neighbors, and you. This is one thing that we can do for ourselves, and only we can do it. Let me ask a simple question. What's the difference between a good flag and a bad flag? What makes a flag design good or bad? Both of these take a squiggly line and run with it, but one goes for simple elegance, and I'm not sure if adding 6 colors and 6 words actually helps the other one. This is actually a thing, the study of flags, vexillology, and there are rules for good flag design. Thank you, New Mexico. That's a win for elegant simplicity with a Southwestern touch. It's not hard to spot flags that break or don't know the rules. Sorry, Milwaukee, you must have skipped out on design class. We who learn from others can avoid being the next bad example. There are only 5 rules of good flag design. It's a short list and it's a simple list, and in fact, simplicity is rule number 1. A good flag is simple. In fact, the best flags are those that a child can draw from memory. The flag of Switzerland takes an instant and you've got it, but forget drawing the flag of Detroit from memory. I bet most residents of that city couldn't draw a copy while looking right at it. The second rule of good flag design is to use meaningful symbolism. 13 stars and 13 stripes representing the original colonies, one united country. The flag of Scotland uses the cross of St. Andrews. A good flag creates feelings of patriotism and pride. When a flag becomes a symbol for the people who feel that the flag represents them, it unites us. It belongs to everyone and it creates a powerful bond. But flags are personal too. When outsiders disrespect our flag, we feel they're disrespecting us personally. So rule number 1 is keep it simple, and rule number 2 is use meaningful symbolism. The third rule for good flag design is about colors. There are 6 basic colors that good flag designs use, simply and sometimes symbolically: red, green, blue, white, yellow, and black. You might see different blues or greens or whatever, but for the most part, most flag designs actually abide by this rule pretty well. This isn't the rule that, when not followed, results in bad flag designs, but the next rule is a different story. No lettering or seals. What a simple rule. But as we will see, there are a lot of flag designs that either can't help themselves or they're just copying what others do. Take these 2 examples. They both use lettering and seals. The 5th rule is be distinctive. Here are a dozen flags, and there are many more just like them. They all look pretty similar. But hang on, we're Americans. We think independently. Do we want to just accept the rules that someone else came up with? Let's question them for a moment. Why does good flag design avoid seals and coats of armor? Well, seals were complicated for document stamping to avoid counterfeiting or forgery, so they're probably going to be unreadable at a distance. Small, detailed elements of design might not work far away or in the wind, and a small post-it note at arm's length does give you the same perspective as a flag up on a flagpole. Okay, so what about that part about using words? What's wrong with using words? Well, it's about simplicity and symbolism. Think about it. If you have to use words, then you have to admit that your symbolism has failed. Symbolism, by definition, is not meaningful if you have to explain it. Now, these are world-class flag designs, best of the best. You instantly scanned all 6 and said to yourself, Israel, Texas, Great Britain, Canada, South Africa, and South Korea. Now you might ask, hey, why is Texas, a state flag, up there with country flags? Unless you've lived in Texas. Well, now let's talk about city flags. Let's start with a good one. Let's start with Chicago. It doesn't matter what you or I think. It's the flag of the people. It's their flag, and evidently they love it because it's everywhere. I don't personally care for the shape of these stars. Maybe if I lived in Chicago, I would love them. They represent 4 significant events in Chicago history. I also don't like the pale shade of blue, but those represent bodies of water that aren't meaningful to me. They clearly took red, white, and blue and stars and stripes, and they tweaked every single element, messed with them just to be different. Distinctive, I have to admit. Let's look at another city, one that you would think has to play on the worldwide level, New York City. That's New York, New York. Boy, you can't win them all. And it's not just that they broke the coat of arms rule. I'm wondering if they broke the color rule. Is that orange? Nice try, New York. Actually, no, it really isn't a good try. I don't know. Maybe it was all the rage in 1664, but is it distinctive? No, it even kind of looks like the flag of Mexico without even using green. How does that happen? Well, let's try the West Coast. Let's look at some city flags that are a little closer to home. Portland, Oregon. This flag just made you smile, didn't it? Gives you hope for good flag design. You don't even have to know the rules or get the symbolism. Your first impression is just, that's a nice flag. And you want to think that the white diamond in the middle means something too, don't you? Now, I get the green. Pacific Northwest is known for rain, but I'm not sure I agree that gold symbolizes both agriculture and commerce. Who am I to argue with what the people of Portland think, though? This flag plays by all the rules for good flag design. I think it wins. Good for Portland. But let's look at some Washington cities. Let's start with Spokane. You can tell they tried. Probably not their first flag. You kind of feel that. It's sort of simple, but wait. Green, blue, black, white, yellow, they used every color except red. There's some good symbolism here. They do have a river running through their city, and they're in the evergreen state too. They couldn't keep from using lettering, though. They wrote out that the children under the sun are children of the sun. I think they look like children under a microscope, and they're still pretty small. They've got no chance up on a flagpole. Well, thank you, Spokane, for participating. Who's next? Maybe Seattle does better. They tried. Wow, this is a really designy flag, isn't it? Another flag a child has got no chance of drawing from memory. Even looking right at it, it's going to be a challenge. Cool symbolism, though. They've got Chief Seattle there, the waves of Puget Sound. And hey, is that a city seal in the middle trying not to look like it's the city seal? Well, it's lettering. It could have been fine without the words. The color's interesting, I'll give them that. It's a really interesting blue, or green, or turquoise, or teal, or whatever it is. The color's distinctive, and I think that goes in the plus column, don't you? Those are two Washington cities, and I'm afraid most other Washington city flags don't score as well as these two. See a pattern here? Seals and lettering are just too hard to not use, and everyone else is doing it. Maybe there's some peer pressure. Look, Tacoma tried twice and still couldn't break out of the pack. You know that yellow one at the bottom? I have to say this, if I was a city with as cool a name as Puyallup, yeah, I'd want the name on the flag. Maybe in bigger letters you could read, though. I think that's their best feature. That gives us enough background. We need to talk about the Yakima flag. Is the peer pressure of so many other Washington cities going to be too much? You're already worrying about our city seal, aren't you? Well, it turns out the city of Yakima does have a city seal. Of course. What kind of city would we be if the city clerk couldn't stamp it on official stuff so you'd know that the paper was the original? And it's a great one. You might have noticed it's on city trucks driving around, but when you go to City Hall, it's not hanging outside or on fire stations or in front of every bank in town. In fact, you don't see a Yakima flag anywhere, seal or no seal. I'm an optimist. I think that gives us hope to one day see something great on flagpoles in front of our businesses and flying proudly on the front porches of our Yakima homes, every neighborhood in town. What could unite the citizens of Yakima? That word unity is a good one, no matter how you pronounce it, unity or unidos. This is a really great idea. Some people might say, we have more important things, more pressing problems to think about in Yakima. But Ted Kaye, the guy who wrote the book on vexillology, said, if you had a great city flag, you would have a banner for people to rally under to face those more important things. So, okay, for the sake of discussion, where do we start? Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Another flag with a seal on it. We're not one of those cities that straddles a boundary or a border. We're solidly in the middle of the state. So, to state the obvious, Yakima is in the state of Washington. But when you drive around Yakima, there aren't that many portraits of George Washington hanging around. It's not Yakima's fault if Seattle seems to have two city flags, and this one, This is one of them which, quite honestly, you see so much, it might really be the unofficial state flag, available in 2 decorator colors. Let's embrace this. We could celebrate this. This is a strength of our city. If we had a third language, we'd brag that a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. Tempting to use words, unity or unidos, but let's look for symbols. How about those hops? We grow a lot here. The whole country comes to Yakima for hops. Are hops distinctive? Yes, they are, but hops aren't that well known. So as a symbol, sorry, it's a maybe. It could be enough if those of us who live and love Yakima find it meaningful, but I don't know that enough of us do. That's okay. There's apples. Who in Washington doesn't know apples are a big deal here? We love apples, and everyone in America knows an apple when they see one. The problem is there's already a bunch of other cities in Washington that use apples as their thing, which makes it a problem trying to be distinctive. And Yakima has got so much going for it. We don't have to settle. We are a growing, thriving, prosperous city. We started out in agriculture, maybe our defining characteristic at first, but we have gone beyond, so far beyond. We had growth spurts due to lumber and the railroad and returning GIs following World War II. Today, Yakima is a thriving center of commerce. We have banking, education, institutions of higher learning. We have had a respectable sized downtown for decades now. We have office buildings all over town in a variety of professions. And there's more, because Yakima is home to the Pippins. For those who might not know, a pippin is a variety of apple. We have a hometown team. They use an apple for their logo. I know, the apple thing is really overdone, but don't worry. Yakima's still got other positive distinctives. How about coffee? Yakima has got an unusually high number of coffee kiosks. Donut shops are a bit scarce, but you can't drive a block anywhere in Yakima without coffee drive-through options. When businesses thrive, residents thrive, and Yakima residents clearly enjoy coffee enough to support a lot of coffee drive-throughs. Seriously, Yakima has much to be proud of, and we are all of one mind when it comes to eliminating problems and improving the common good. Helping those who most need it or are least able is important. We are united on these. We do have the problems most other cities have, but it's up to us to unite to solve, working together. Okay, so let's get back to the 5 rules of good flag design and apply them to Yakima. We live where 2 rivers come together. You can get out and walk or bike on the Greenway, and you're alongside either the Natchez River on the northern border of town, or you're along the Yakima River that runs along the eastern border. Visitors driving by on highways get to enjoy the rivers. They're both physically and symbolically powerful. The 2 rivers converging is a great symbol for uniting, different people coming together. America uses e pluribus unum to remind ourselves that regardless of where we came from, we are all Americans now. Isn't that Yakima too? Blue and green? Fine. The Pacific Northwest is defined by rainfall, surrounded by water. We live in the heart of the evergreen state, and even our pippins went with the green apples. Our greenway runs along both rivers, and we've got more blue sky days than the west side. Let's just go with the flow here. Yakima has a city seal. It's actually a great one, but take away the lettering, this could be any city that thought of it first. Glad Yakima got it. Lots of other cities already use apples, though, as we've seen. But just because other cities can't seem to help using a seal doesn't mean we have to. Let's be distinctive. Yakima is the only city that you can say this about. At the convergence of the Natchez and Yakima rivers, surrounded by thriving agriculture and commerce, the citizens of Yakima unite to create a prosperous future together. The symbolism of the rivers coming together is meaningful. So how do you say all this without words? Like this. This flag illustrates unity. It represents all people of Yakima. There's the rivers and the thriving agriculture, which includes the hops, the apples, the vineyards, and the tree-lined streets and parks. And a child can tell you that Y is for Yakima. This is a really simple design. The technical specs are easy. There's a name for a sideways Y in flag making, a pall, and the hoist is the side where the flagpole is. Just like the people of Chicago and other cities that have good flag designs, Yakima could benefit from its own flag to represent all our people. In a multicultural city, a flag that symbolizes unity coming together as one, that communicates in all languages, the city and local businesses might use it too. A flag can start on flagpoles and go beyond. There are some who will dream all kinds of ways it can be useful. Perhaps you are such a leader. If so, take the ball, run with it. With a really great city flag, it would be nice if companies felt they got more prestige under our banner than we do from them. Ultimately, a city is the people. When the people of a city find a way to express unity with symbolism, to unite under a banner, to face important things, who knows where that symbolism will end up being used when people are inspired. I hope you'll fly a flag and sport a few stickers. Be part of the spirit of Yakima. This is something government can't do for us. We the people need to. This isn't to sell flags or stickers, though we'd hope local suppliers could thrive any way they can. Yakima is a city of nearly 100,000 residents, and there are a lot more nearby who consider Greater Yakima their home. I hope you will please share this video with some of them. There aren't many ways for us to show we're proud of where we live, but this is one thing we can do for ourselves, and we can do it together.